Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. Yes, for this Friday, on Vlog Friday, we have some top stories, but more importantly, each and every video, most every video now in the last 2 weeks, immediately goes into limited ads. So I want to thank you guys for your continued support. If you're not able to help financially, obviously below this video to the right of it, you'll see a super thanks, which you will see on PC, even if it is demonetized. And maybe you may see it on mobile, maybe not. I was told by a commenter that they didn't see it on their mobile for super thanks. But if you want to help out the channel that way, it's greatly appreciated. But the likes, the shares, and the comments also help tremendously. So thank you very much. And if you're aware of it, I also produce shorts, which is also on the main channel. Also helps out the channel, particularly with traffic and, of course, subscribers. Many subscribers from Super Chat, or from shorts, I should say. So, from the Denver Gazette, Biden sent 70 secret night flights of migrants from border to Florida. That's right. More than 70 flights transporting migrants from the southern border to Jacksonville have landed in the dark of night in recent months as the Biden administration struggles to empty overflowing border facilities, the office of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said. Now, imagine that. So, here I am as a commentator, a simple, humble YouTuber, giving you guys the cutting edge information, trying to take the difficult, trying to take the complicated, taking the chaos, taking the tumult, and breaking it down into very simple terms. This is what you're not hearing. What you're hearing about is all the sensationalizing of Ron DeSantis and Abbott out of Texas, sending individuals to D.C. and even sending them all the way to Kamala Harris's actual home. However, you don't hear about this right here. Just like we didn't hear about Hunter Biden's laptop, just like we didn't hear about how the entirety of the 2-year investigation into the Russian collusion story was actually fabricated. You don't see these continued pounding of the media when these issues start to come up. No, not at all. Not at all. But I wanted to mention this here because this is exactly the reason why we get demonetized here on the BuzWeaver channel. Because the establishment wants to make sure that there is a narrative-driven story, as we covered this week, specifically, how there is a narrative-driven story when we talked about CNN, for example, getting bashed by regular mainstream media because they are no longer narrative-driving. They are back in line or trying to be more objective, although that's still questionable. So you see here, as I just mentioned, when it comes to what DeSantis does or Greg Abbott does, it's all over mainstream media. Now, I do like and respect Daily Mail because they're just letting everyone know what's actually going on. So Martha's Vineyard residents hit the roof as Governor DeSantis flies in 50 Venezuelan illegal immigrants to the affluent liberal enclave in stunning move straight out of Texas Governor Abbott's playbook. Now, of course, these are sanctuary cities. Now, of course, there's a lot of talk about the efficacy of this and what he's doing, if it's a political maneuver. But apparently, you see, ladies and gentlemen, the Democrats can do all the political, dirty, scoundrel, weaselly things that they can do, like, for example, during, a certain period in time where we choose a president, as well as just the ideas and concepts that they try to weasel into the narratives that's being driven by the mainstream media. However, when you try to present things that are actually happening in our society, in our culture, and then I try to present it, for example, here on the channel, I get demonetized because I'm not part of the group. I'm not part of the club. So if you're not part of the group, you're not part of the club, you're gonna feel the effects. So here you can see now, although Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott are both governors of states, they are being persecuted not too dissimilarly to President Trump. So Martha's Vineyard's residents are reeling after 2 plane loads of migrants landed on the wealthy Massachusetts island in a dramatic escalation of a campaign of Republican governors to shift the impact of the border crisis to Democratic areas. So I don't see how that's an issue because you have to understand here, states do not have the power to send these individuals back to their home countries. That can only be done through the federal government. And we talked about the federal government here when it's the Republicans that are controlling the federal government. The states want, or the Democrats want to say the states have the power to do what they need to do. However, in a situation where you now have a Democrat president, they want the federal government to do all sorts of things, even go after their political enemies, which is what they're doing to President Trump and even maybe DeSantis as well as Abbott. So the move from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to send roughly 50 migrants, mostly from Venezuela, to the island came as a surprise in the affluent community. I don't understand why it would be a surprise. They're sanctuary cities where prominent liberals such as the Obamas, Oprah Winfrey, and Larry David all have homes. Of course, all they're outraged, but they can't show the outrage, right? They can't show that they're upset by this because then it would contradict their philosophy, their ideology, and their worldview. But you and I already know they're the ones who make these political moves all the time. My channel is being affected by these political moves. And not only that, look at the level of absurdity they reach. Now, I am a huge, gigantic fan of Ken Burns. I am a huge fan of documentaries. And to see this here, but this is the group think. This is the collective think. This is the hive mind of the establishment, the hive mind of the Democrat, the hive mind of the left here. Ken Burns says DeSantis sending illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard is like the events that happened during World War II. This is the line. This is the mantra. This is what they're saying now, all of them collectively, because they all work together. They all want to be on the same page. They all want to drive the same narratives. They're outraged. They're upset that this is going on. However, there doesn't seem to be any issue when Joe Biden does it. 70 secret night flights. 70 secret night flights of migrants compared to DeSantis just sending, 50 migrants, 50 people. 70 flights. Those airplanes can hold up to several hundred people at a time. So it's hard to say how many actually went there. But nonetheless, as you can see here, the collective is all working together to say that this is some sort of outrage. Why? They're going to sanctuary cities. And as I just mentioned, states can't send them back. It has to be done by the federal government. Ken Burns appears on CNN's New Day on Thursday to promote his new PBS documentary. Well, he's got yet another one. The U.S. and the events that happened during World War II, and told John Berman that Ron DeSantis moving illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard is equivalent to the actions of what happened in a country over in Europe and the number of 6 million individuals across Europe during an event that happened there in World War II. It's absolutely amazing how they're all jumping on board. Now, we just talked about CNN. I didn't come to the defense of CNN. I was simply saying that CNN is trying to go more legitimate. They are trying to be more objective with their media news coverage. So what they're probably going to do is they're going to have individuals like Ken Burns and others on the left come onto the show to do all the talking for them and say, hey, we just had these individuals here. They were expressing their thoughts. You know, CNN, we're just allowing them to express the news, right? We're just delivering it. They're the ones that are actually saying it. So it's quite an interesting move that Democrats are doing. And a lot of it's out of desperation because they are incredibly desperate. But I don't see a problem with the efficacy of this at all because, as I said, the states cannot send them back to their countries of origin. It has to be done through the federal government. But Biden can do these sorts of things at night. Biden can do all kinds of things. And as someone said on Timcast IRL, it's because Hollywood, the mainstream media, the elites, cancel culture, outrage mobs, and wokeness do not pursue the Democrats when they make these sorts of moves. So thank you so much, guys, for the likes, the shares, and the comments. That's how you can help contribute to the channel if you can't do it financially. And, of course, I still have my links to Amazon below these. You can always go there and place your orders as you would normally on my Amazon page. Your guys' support is always amazing, and they're appearing there on the screen. That would be the channel icon to click on to subscribe and to select notifications so you'll know when there's content here on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.